Hi, my name is Michelle, and today I'm going to be talking about the film Friday the 13th. So, for the meaning and why it was made the way it was, I think that for me, how I interpreted the meaning of the film was fear of the unknown and that bad or immoral behavior will get punished, and that if you're good, you will escape the consequences. So I think it was made the way it was in order to influence audiences to act a certain correct way or what the film thinks is the correct way. If you act the correct way throughout life, you'll stay safe and unharmed. So characters, there are two characters which are shown in the beginning of the film, which are Barry and Claudette. The characters are killed early off in the film because they go and they do something immoral. They're seen sneaking away from the rest of the group to go hook up in one of the cabins, and they end up being killed by a mysterious person. I think the purpose of these two characters was to show what happens in the film when people do something bad or immoral, such as something sexual. The characters set the tone for the rest of the movie as what happens to them continues to just happen to others. If characters do something immoral, such as have sex or smoke and drink, they get mysteriously killed. And at first, we don't know who that killer is, but we later on find out that it was Pamela. The film is telling you that if you act immorally in life, that there will be consequences. A specific example from the film is just the beginning scene where Barry and Claudette run off to the cabin to do whatever they're gonna do, and they get killed as a result. So Pamela is Jason's mom, and she's the killer. I believe her purpose is to show you that if you do immoral or bad things in life, you will have to face the consequences. In the movie, she is the consequence that people face for doing immoral things. In general, I just think her purpose in the film is being the consequence that people have to face when they do immoral things. I also think that another purpose of her character is to show that things that look harmless aren't always as harmless as they look. Most people think Jason's the killer, but we learn not to judge a book by its cover. Pamela shows us that while some people may look harmless, they're sometimes dangerous. I think the same also goes for the opposite. Someone who looks dangerous could also just be harmless. So Alice is the only survivor, and she's the final girl. She is a camp counselor, and unlike the rest of the camp counselors, she doesn't do immoral things such as drinking or having sex. She's a smart girl, and she's very observant, and she also fights back. Because she doesn't do immoral things, she's the last one left alive, which is the final girl trope. I think that Alice's purpose is to tell us that if we don't make the wrong choices in life, we'll stay safe from the consequences. Because that's pretty much what happens to her. She chooses not to do anything immoral, and as a result, she doesn't get killed like the rest of the counselors. An example from the film of Alice making the right choice is when Steve compliments her and touches her face early on in the movie, and he tries to obviously flirt with her. Alice is polite, but she's also reserved, and she shows that she doesn't want to do anything inappropriate or bad with him. I think this just shows her character overall and how she avoids doing immoral things and she sticks to the right path. So, for themes, I think that there's two main themes that I noticed in the film, which are morality as well as grief and revenge. I think the main theme in the film is morality. Morality is seen through what happens to many of the characters in the film. If camp counselors are good and they don't do immoral things, just drinking or having sex, such as Alice, they stay safe and they don't get killed. As soon as they choose to do something immoral, they put themselves in danger. I think the film is trying to make a connection to real life. Like, if you do something bad or dangerous, there will be consequences and it could end terribly. On the other hand, if you stick to the right path and don't do anything stupid, you stay safe in life. There's many specific examples of morality happening in the film. For example, Robert and Marcy are killed by Pamela when they are having sex in the cabin. Pamela usually kills while counselors are doing immoral things. This type of thing happens with multiple other camp counselors. I think grief as well as revenge is also another big theme in the film. The main reason that Pamela does what she does is because she's struck with grief from the death of her son Jason. She blames his death on the camp staff, which is why she goes on a killing spree trying to kill all of the counselors. I think that Pamela's grief is just an example of how grief can cause you to do crazy things. Because of her grief, she seeks revenge and she goes on a killing spree. She wants to, in a way, like bring Jason justice by killing the people who she believes killed him. It shows that grief can often cause a need for revenge as a way to feel better. So lastly, sound and music. I think the film uses music and sound really well. The timing and the tone of the music just really adds a lot to the film. For example, something could jump out at a certain time and the music will change to fit that. The type or tone of the music chosen for different scenes, I think just really adds to the movie. A scene can go from being not scary to being scary just because of the music choice. I think they just use music really well overall, and they add the right music into the right scenes to add up the fear factor. The sound effects also added throughout the film at different moments help give the film a lot more depth, I think. So overall, I really did enjoy the movie. Thank you so much for listening, and here are my credits. So thank you.